What is up, Wolverine Nation? Is your boy TJ Ronin, and I have a returning guest, a fan favorite, Johnny Olden, joining me today to talk some Michigan football, to get some shit off his chest and let everybody know the deal. Johnny, what is up? Welcome to Michigan at the Voice of College Football, man.
What's going on, TJ? We licking our wounds right now. We licking our wounds.
Facts, dude. Facts. Yeah, I think we're all going through it a little bit. As you guys know, this is the call-in show. I put the StreamYard link in the chat. I'm going to actually put it in the description, so that's bad on me. I forgot to do that. But as you guys know, the format to the Michigan football call-in show, for every $100, you guys contribute to the channel. We go an extra hour. Last Saturday, we had a 5-hour show, guys. Thanks to you guys. You guys were champions. Yeah, bro. They went, bro. The people had to get some shit off their chest, bro. So it was a great show last week. We appreciate that. We're gonna come with that heat again today. You guys know it. And yeah, so again, for every 100, whether it be super chat, membership, super sticker, we will go an additional hour. Obviously, Johnny will stay as long as he can. If you guys make me stay for 12 hours, well, then we'll do the damn thing. But yeah, Johnny. So I've been excited to have you on, bro. As you know, we all know what went down the last week. So I want to get your thoughts and perspective and bring it to our community here. So before we get into like some specific questions, just give me your overall thoughts on the game last weekend and the direction of the program right now.
It's not looking good. I'm gonna keep it 100, keep it real, all of the above. It's not looking good right now, bro, because that team looked poorly coached. It's one thing to lose, but you don't want to lose and look poorly coached. Like defense look lost. Haven't seen something like that since 2020 Don Brown or something. Offense, abysmal, horrible. Right. And Davis Warren, he ain't it. I'm sorry. He ain't it. And what killed me was take him out. Like all right, Texas is up. We can't win. Put in somebody else. You could have got Alex Orji or Jaden Denegal, whoever, somebody. You could have got them some reps to see if maybe you got a dog. Right. That was the perfect time. If they throw interceptions, it doesn't matter. We're getting destroyed. So that was the perfect time to do that. Now, all you learned is Davis could move the ball in garbage time when you could have actually got somebody else some in-game reps to get a look at least. Yeah, it would have been garbage times, but you would have at least got a look. Right. So right now, I'm looking at all the coaches sideways. Like nobody gets away with me. Kirk Campbell, Chiron Moore, all the assistant coaches, Wink, everybody. I'm looking at everybody sideways right now.
Yeah, all right. So since you touched on it, let's get into it. So what is your thoughts on the coaching staff? I mean, where are you at with it? Where's your confidence level? Who do you think, what are some coaches that you think deserve the most attention?
It's right now. It looks. I don't know who's being well coached. Looking at them, honestly. So I know Chiron needs to. What's the offensive line coach? The new offensive line coach.
Grant Newsom.
Chiron, you need to be back. You need to be back over offensive line. Like to me, we're at the point where Chiron. We know what you can do well. You got to get back to it 100%, really. Like you have to. If you just got more on your plate, then that's so be it. But you got to try to get this offensive line where it needs to be. What's his name? Kirk Campbell, you garbage. Go back to coaching quarterbacks. If that, I really don't want you coaching them. If I'm going to be 100 right now. Yeah. So you garbage, bro. Chiron, you got to take over play calling. This is just the facts. Like, I ain't seen nothing like this in a while. Yeah. Defense, Wink, please call Jesse. Please. Call Jesse or Mike, and please, like Wink has to humble himself. But like the linebacker coach, those dudes look lost, bro. They look lost in space. Like, and we were
Dude,
all
bro. Okay,
an upgrade, right?
let's hit on that. So Brian Jean-Marie is the coach of the linebackers, and like we talked about this Saturday, I have not seen the linebacker play this poorly since 2020 when Brian Jean-Marie was the linebackers coach. That shit looks ridiculous. Like they look lost. The fundamentals are gone. Like I'll tell you, Brian Jean-Marie, man, that's one of the biggest. Listen, there's a lot of coaches who, you know, I talked about this. I mean, you tell me, Johnny, does this coaching staff have your trust?
No.
What's your thoughts on what we heard out of camp to what we're seeing on the field right now? What do you think about that?
Oh, they sold us nothing but lies. They sold us all dreams.
Yeah,
nothing but lies and dreams.
But isn't it wild the confidence they had in their press conferences? Like, because like I talk about to our community at least that Chiron Moore was like he was confident as hell, bro. He had a grin, like he seemed like he had some tricks up his sleeve. I feel like our coaches have been smacked in the face right now. Now, another thing that concerns me though is have you listened to the coaches press conferences recently, like even after the Texas game?
Yeah, I didn't like what I heard.
They think it's just a few tweaks away from being corrected, and I'm telling you right now, man, that's concerning to me because it looks like a lot more than a few tweaks away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a few tweaks. Like with the linebackers, it looked like Ernest Hausman played a ton back. Those dudes look like freshmen. Hausman and Barham, they look like true freshmen.
Bro, dude, Hausman can't wrap up. Barham's taking poor pursuit angles. I mean, the linebacker play is just abysmal. And then let's talk about offensive line. Like, for example, Grant Newsome, as you said, listen, we can say, oh, Grant Newsome, Sharon Moore needs to get. Dude, Sharon Moore's working on with the offensive lineman. He's not working with the offensive lineman.
I know he is. He has to be.
Yeah, like, so that's the thing is like, and Sharon Moore said, this is another thing too. So this is what I mean. Sharon Moore made a comment maybe 3 weeks into the fall camp. He goes, as long as I'm here, our offensive line play will remain elite.
I bet he wish he ain't say that. And that's what most of us were thinking, though. In the offseason, like Chiron we trust. We know he knows how to do this. So that's why I'm like, bro, if you're not 100% on that offensive line, bro, because if the defense isn't great, because I've seen people saying, oh, we just lost to Texas, and no, I need people to understand. The offense has looked horrible for 2 games. Texas, okay, that's kind of understandable. Still not really. You look garbage against Fresno. That ain't understandable. Yeah. That ain't understandable.
Right. The excuse would be, well, it was week 1. We're rusty. We're just getting our thing. We got some new starters. We're getting, but and also like the thing we at least we believed here, the playbook was vanilla. We thought maybe they had some, some more up their sleeve. Right. That would be the thought, right? So I said to what I've said is we got Arkansas State this week. I don't want to see no vanilla. You guys better figure it out.
You got to run through them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get to this super chat here. Go Blue, fly Eagles, fly number 3, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Do you guys think our recruiting in the past 2 years has an effect on how we're playing right now? Johnny, let me take this first. 1,000%. Because, and this is something I've stressed and I've gotten a lot of flack. Okay. So, I've been on the message boards. I've done some debating, in my day. And a lot of people don't want to believe that the reality is we are in the NIL era. And the success of our team, the past 3 years has been built on pre-NIL players who came before NIL was a factor. JJ, Blake Corum, Keegan, and Junior Colson, even Will Johnson, although that was the year it became active, but it was only 6 months in effect when Will Johnson's class signed there on the National Signing Day. And Will Johnson did get NIL, but now because the market's evolving and it's starting to grow and mature, it's becoming more aggressive and these kids are getting even more money. And not only that, there's more people involved, like agents and marketing firms. So like it's a whole other animal. But like the reality is the last 2 years, I think we had 3 top 100 recruits in 2 years. 3, or maybe it was 2, or maybe it was 1. Actually, I think it was 1. I think it was 1 top 100 recruit in the last 2 years. That's the type of stuff you cannot succeed. But then a lot of people would argue with you, be like, well, we're Michigan, we develop, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Herbert's gone. Coach Herbert's gone, right? Jim Harbaugh's gone. Now, even so, though, you still have to get a certain level of talent. Like we won our national title, our Big Ten championships because we had cornerstone players. Your JJs, your Aiden Hutchinsons, your even Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards was almost a borderline 5-star, and he's still here. But here's the thing: to that point too, they're not putting him in a position to succeed. Johnny, what do you think? And let me also, before I ask you this question about Donovan Edwards, again to our chat and everyone joining us now, we're almost at 200 viewers on all of our platforms. Again, for every $100 we get in super chats, memberships, and super stickers, we will go an extra hour for you guys. And then so we again thank you everybody who contributes, just like our boy Go Blue, Fly Eagles Fly. Thank you for your super chat. But Johnny, I wanted to ask you regarding Donovan Edwards, what do you think about the use of Donovan Edwards and how they're applying him in the offense right now?
It's ridiculous, honestly, because this dude's been on the team for what is this, fourth? This is his 4th year. Yeah, right.
I think it's his third year.
This dude's been around a long time, and you act like you don't know how to use him.
I know
some of this stuff, bro, it's mind-boggling that you don't know how to use Donovan Edwards. Everybody knows he may be a better receiver than running back, and you refuse to put him out wide or put him in the slot. You motion him out. Right. You want to keep a back there. You want to keep Mullins still back there, or whoever, Marshall, I don't care. But then you motion him out of the backfield, bro. Like, this is ABC stuff. Like, how do you not know? Bro, I hate bad coaching mistakes, bro. When I think about this stuff, it makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
Okay, so all right, let's hit on that then. Because obviously we're looking at a team that's dysfunctional. We see players being misused. We see issues all across the board. So let me ask you this: what are your thoughts of Chiron Moore as a head coach? What are your thoughts, not only the present but the future?
I'm looking at him sideways because I have to, because you're the head coach. The same way you have to, you get the praise, you're gonna get the blame when it goes wrong. So I'm looking at all your assistant coaches you hired. I'm looking at all of them. I'm looking at Wink. I'm looking at Kirk Campbell becoming the OC. Hey, do you need him to call plays? Sark over there on the sideline killing Wink. He gave Wink a spanking the other day. That was a spanking. Like, bro, this ain't what you thought it was. So I'm looking at Chiron Moore like, bro, you got to get this together. But you've hired this staff the same way I was hard on Harbaugh with Don Brown. But if this is the big thing right here, though. If he's stubborn like Harbaugh, he gonna get fired.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me is they gave him that 5-year contract after getting whooped by Texas, and it's obviously because what I think the reason that the timing, because let's listen. There's no coincidence in anything, right? Like they dropped that contract for a few reasons. One, because media got a hold of the reality of his agreement with Michigan, right? And then it started to become public, and then we were being negatively recruited. But then you get your ass kicked by Texas, and I think to save face in recruiting, they dropped that contract, is what I think occurred. They didn't just, we had since February to do this, and now we're going to do it the week we got beat by Texas. Oh, it just so happens we're on the same terms now. No, you're not. Like, I'll be real with you, man. Like, I love Michigan, but like sometimes they do some funny stuff, bro. And that was a funny move, in my opinion. Like, why didn't you do it sooner? Why'd you do it the week we get whooped by Texas? Like, they just seem to be so reactive to everything, man. Like, it just frustrates me.
They are, and all these old, like the Ohio State podcasts and all them, they have a field day off of this stuff. But
I know.
And I have to look back at it.
We would too. We would too if it was,
Yeah, and I have to look back at it like, well, it is strange. Why hasn't he signed the contract? Like,
right.
It's odd behavior.
But at the end of the day, like, I wasn't mad at it because, like, I'll be honest, like, there's a big part of me that's like, well, I think Chiron should be on a temp position, but you can't give a coach a temp role because if you do that, you'll struggle in recruiting, you won't survive, and you can't do that to the program. But like one thing, we have a bunch of callers, so we're gonna get to you guys here in a second. I just want to hit on this. Thank you, Juju, Troy, Nick, and Ball Talk Michigan. We will get to all you guys, but the thing to me, Johnny, I want to get your thoughts on this before I give a shout out here to Tom for the gifted membership. But the Sharon Moore era or the Sharon Moore transition was supposed to be to maintain Michigan's elite play in the Big Ten and to not waste a national championship caliber defense. So this way we don't go through a rebuild. Well, I don't know about you, Johnny, but this is looking like a damn rebuild, and it's looking like a bad one too. It's looking like we might have a real problem here.
Yeah, and
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a fact. Because the one thing that we were all thinking, and not just some YouTubers, but the national media, Michigan's gonna have an elite defense. Yeah, they're gonna have an elite defense,
at least top 10.
Exactly, and I don't care what anybody says. If you know football, that defense was lost in space, and you can't play. You can't play fast, physical, good defense if you're confused. Jair Hill was confused. Nate Hausman, Barham lost. They didn't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that defense was confused. The defensive linemen alignment.
Not one sack, Johnny.
No twists, no stunts. A staple from last year. Yeah, lost in space.
Not good. It was a bad look. All right, let's give a shout out here to Tom Bouchard. He gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Tom, for your gifted membership. I can't see who it went to. Actually, yes, I can. Journey, shout out to you, man. Welcome to the Michigan community. Enjoy your emojis. And if there's any Ohio State trolls, you can throw those cheeseburgers at them. All right, let's get to our first caller, Johnny. The crew has been waiting. What is up, Juju?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How y'all boy doing? How y'all feeling?
Just trying to recover.
I mean, as good as we can, given what's going on.
Well, I went back and watched everything, a lot, and yeah, it's looking even worse than what y'all originally said. I'm usually optimistic. I'm usually the one to come on here and say that there's a shot for this. But the most unfortunate thing that we ain't gonna find out till USC. Right.
Well, but, I mean, it's good. Yeah. The USC game should really give us the reality of the situation. Because Arkansas will use as a warm up, but then USC is going to let us know the deal. We're going to know how competitive we really are.
I mean, I look at Arkansas State. If we don't blow them out, that's a concern to me. If they
don't smoke them, we in trouble for real.
They better take some shit out on Arkansas State, bro.
If we do, it's like we supposed to do that. I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm still not taking anything away from it. The way we look. Yeah, handle your shit.
We want to see the offense look good at some time. So we need the offense to look good. They haven't looked good yet.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hit on that in a minute. But it's you guys were touching on it earlier. A lot is going wrong in every area. So where does that fall? On the head coach. When everything is shitty, that's the head coach. And it's like me and my boy was talking about this the other day. We were just like, Sharon's 38 years old, right? He's around that age. What do you do when an old veteran that's been in the league, he's been in college? What do you do when he's fucking up? How are you supposed to check him? You're 38. You're new to head coaching. How are you supposed to check that? This man has seen everything. That's a real problem. A senior player?
I think you're talking about Wink.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
You're talking about Wink. How are you supposed to? Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
that's a real problem.
Listen, there's a chain of command, but here's the deal, though. They hired Wink. If Wink fails, I don't see Chiron outlasting Wink. Would you think Chiron has a long leash here? What do you guys think on that?
His leash ain't that long.
If we lose the USC, it gets.
I think he's got 2 years max if he doesn't turn this around. I think if he gets to 7-5, he gets another year. I think if it's worse than 7-5, although this 5-year deal makes me wonder, bro. They're not gonna fire him after 1 year.
I say this though, TJ. If this staff can't turn shit around with this roster,
I know. We got a problem, bro. We have a fucking problem, bro. And not only that, I don't know if people have truly grasped this yet. We're gonna lose a lot of talent after this year.
Everything, basically.
We're about to be in a serious rebuild, bro. We don't have a quarterback. We're hoping on Jaden Davis is even going to be ready. Offensive line, who's coming? because Evan Link's supposed to be the future. How is he looking? He's getting owned right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to lose Josh Prevey. Giovanni Alhadi's probably was likely going to go to the draft. Who knows how things are going now? Miles Hinton was supposed to go to the draft. We'll see how that goes. Colson Loveland's going to be gone, right? So, like, yeah, Jordan Marshall will he'll be next up. And then if we can hold on to Andrew Marsh, which, by the way, like, speaking of recruiting, like, I don't know, there's some smoke about Texas poking their nose in that one right now. So we'll see how that goes. Because like he's from Texas, guys, like, and they ain't afraid to play ball, and we almost lost him to Washington over a bag. So I'm worried about that one. I'm getting worried. I'm like, I'm getting a little concerned about that recruitment. And yeah, man, I just I feel like if we say we have a down year, right, and then we lose, we're gonna lose next year. I don't see it getting much better unless Michigan gets aggressive with their NIL in the portal. And I mean aggressive. You better get a quarterback, a real one too.
TJ, when was that smoke about Texas that you keep hearing?
Well, so they might lose Khalil Lockett.
Okay.
So if they lose him, word is they're going to go all in on Andrew Marsh.
Well, I won't gonna say too much, but one of the people that I know, he spoke with him, and it seems to be everything's okay.
Yeah, I think it is now.
That was right after the Texas game.
I'm not talking about today. Today's not my concern. My concern is when Texas decides to become very aggressive as the closing. Like, listen, Andrew Marsh. So we all know Andrew Marsh has a really good relationship with the staff, and he's been very locked in, and he's visited a lot, even on his own dime. Right, guys. The day he was going to commit, Washington almost pulled him. Yeah. So if he's that easily persuaded, you don't think Texas, a hometown school, has that capability in the next 2 months?
Yeah, they lose Lockett. I mean, everything's off the table then. So
right, because they're gonna need. Yeah, so Lockett is. I think I forgot where he's rumored to be going, but he might be flipping from Texas, and he's their number one wide receiver. If he's gone, they're gonna use that money, and right. You know what I mean? That's the concern. So, and there's rumors and just so you know, there has been confirmed rumors that Texas is going to turn their direction to Andrew Marsh if that happens.
Yeah, that's why I asked you when you heard that.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, because I heard the same. Yeah,
this week I heard that.
I mean, it's not like because next year we're losing everything, literally everything, and look how well that's working out for Florida State. You don't think all these transfers just gonna plug and play? Not with this coaching staff.
No.
Like that's where we're gonna turn our direction to. And look, I was watching the Chargers game the other day. Now I went back and watched our game. This is not even remotely the same offense or defense. Not even remotely the same. We all had this persona that was gonna be around the same. Kirk Campbell was gonna slowly work his way into passing the ball more. It's nothing the same. This man is splitting everyone out. He's running completely different. Go and watch that Chargers game. Go watch that Chargers game back, and then y'all tell me that is the offense that we've been running, and that is Jesse Minter's defense. Like you said, Johnny, there was no twists, no stunts. Boy, how much I miss Minter and Elston. Like gurus, we're splitting people out. Edge, Mason Grant, it just doesn't make sense. The personnel doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on, but it falls on the head coach.
They're putting players in a unique position. I don't know if they're putting them in a position to see, but all right, Juju, give us your final thoughts here so we can get to our next callers. We got the lines kind of picking up.
If they don't get their shit together, we're going 7-5. That's
right. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm at floor of a 7-5, and then I don't see anything better than 8-4 unless we see some improvement here.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of improvement from what we've seen, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
Me neither. And these are just real facts. I know people don't like it, but this is the reality.
Yeah, they don't. There is definitely a group, or there is a subset of Michigan fans who want a comfortable space, bro. But they don't want reality of the situation. And we're going to talk about the reality of the situation. Like, and we're also going to take it week to week. Like, I'm not all out on Chiron Moore, but like I don't trust the coaching staff. You know what I mean? Like they have to prove to me, especially after the fall camp, the way they handled spring ball, summer conditioning, and then like you didn't go into the portal, man. You had every opportunity to make a phone call and get a player into the portal, and you didn't.
Yep.
You could have got a quarterback. You didn't. You could have got a right tackle. We knew the right tackle was an issue in spring ball. We knew that. We knew Andrew Gentry was having issues, and you didn't. You just wrote it out because you thought you can keep developing like you guys have been doing. It's like, unfortunately, our coaching staff seems to not have a true pulse of the program, and that is a problem. That's my concern.
It's looking like we're turning to the NFL, boys. My Saints are 1-0. We up, man. We're up.
Hey, Lions, baby. No, I'm just joking. We still. Hey, listen, man. Michigan till we die. But Sunday, it's nice to get a little, a little breather. But all right, Juju, I'm gonna let you go here, man. Thanks for calling in. Yeah. You always do. Obviously, we'll be here for the post-game show. Hopefully, we got a bunch of good shit to talk about.
All right, for sure. I'll see you.
Peace out, Juju. Cheer up, man. Cheer up, man. And Juju's down. Juju's down. All right. Yeah. All right, Johnny. All right. So here's where we are, guys. We are 30 minutes in. We will take all the callers on the line, but currently we are $90 away from our $100 goal to go to an extra hour. If you guys want us to go any longer than our remaining callers on the line, then we are 90 away from that goal, that target. All we need is super chats, memberships, and super stickers to reach that goal. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get to our next caller. It is Big Troy. What is up, my man?
How y'all doing? Go Blue.
Hey, go Blue, man.
My question that I had partly was answered by the discussion about Andrew Marsh, but it's kind of troubling to me about what potential blowback from last Saturday's game could occur. Had you heard anything else about anybody else situation?
Recruits?
Being
yeah, in terms of recruits, no, not yet. But I mean, it's not a positive. I think the class is still okay right now. Like, my concern's more not the present, but the long term here. Like, if the team continues to play like this, I do have some concerns with this class. You could lose some people. Andrew Marsh being one of the top ones that I worry the most about, because he is from Texas, because I do know Texas might, there's word that they will target him if they lose Lockett already. That's been confirmed. So, but we'll see. They haven't lost him yet, and we'll see if they can hang on to Lockett. But no, right now I don't have. There's no one there's no one right now that's looking to jump from the class. But as you guys know, and this happens every year, this isn't even a Michigan problem, or this is even a Michigan thing. Whenever a team underperforms, players look to jump. Like, that happens because they get a little uncomfortable, right? And then other teams take advantage of that who play well. We've done it. Michigan has done this with Derek Moore. Derek Moore we got from Oklahoma when they fired their coach. Michigan, we got Alex Orji when they fired their coach. We got Andrew Gentry, who unfortunately is not playing well, when they fired Brocco Mendenhall at Virginia. Like, these things happen. This is recruiting. So, it's just something we need to be aware of. I mean, obviously, if we hear anything or if anything comes about, we'll have it covered. But it's not, obviously, Troy, it's not the most ideal situation to be getting blown out on national TV, because these kids want to come play for they want to play for a premier program. And if you're getting worked, especially against a team that is from your home state, like, that's not a good look.
Right. Like I said, but my question was partially answered. Because Andrew Marsh was my biggest concern. And I think that my prediction for the season is probably 8-4 right now, the way we're looking. I don't want that to be the case, but I'm pretty much thinking that that's what it's going to be. And my biggest concern is losing to Michigan State.
Ooh.
Damn.
Horrible.
That would really tick me off.
I'll tell you right now, Troy, if that happens, this fan base is going to go nuts. Like this, I don't think that's an acceptable outcome at all, because although Michigan State's looking like a football team, like, they're actually looking like a team that plays football, unlike they did, unlike what they looked like the last few years. We cannot lose to Michigan State. We have way more talent than Michigan State. That should not happen. But I hear you, though. They just got that victory on the road in Maryland. The thought, which I'll just say this, Troy, it's not like the thought has not crossed my mind, but like, whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh God, this fan base is going to go insane if that happens. And then imagine the freaking shit talking from State fans.
Right. From what I saw Saturday, I think we would struggle against both Maryland and Michigan State. And I don't mean that they would whip us. I just see us struggling with that kind of play calling and stuff like that, struggling to close them out. And you let any team hang around at this level. I mean,
the problem
look
is
at what happened to Notre Dame against
Notre
Dame. No noise, right?
The problem is when you play bad offense like we're doing and like Notre Dame did the other day, you can get beat by anybody.
Right.
Well, what Michigan needs to do, like I've thought about this, like how do they correct it? How do they fix it? In my opinion, it starts at coaching. That's number one. And then second is the offensive line. If they can get their offensive line together, if the offensive line can gel a little bit and build some chemistry, and if the coaching staff can identify the players' strengths and actually utilize them and put them in a position to succeed, that's half the battle. And then the third biggest issue is quarterback play. The quarterback play has to be at an above average level. I mean, Davis Warren has shown flashes of competent quarterback play, but like without a solid, stable offensive line and a coaching staff putting them in positions to fail, like putting Alex Orji in on second down to make it 3rd and long and making him call a timeout and killing all momentum in the Texas game in the second quarter, that's your coaching staff failing your players. And they've done that already a few times. We've seen what they've done with Orji, the way they're utilizing him. They're not utilizing him correctly. Stop this one play crap, because we all know what's going to happen. How about you give the kid a drive and let's see what Orji can do with that? You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I know many of us watch the Monday Morning Quarterback with Devin Gardner, and I was very surprised when he said that he would, if he was Orji's dad, he would advise him to transfer if they didn't give him at least a shot.
Yeah, Devin Gardner was very hard on Michigan, and he should be. You know, he was calling Michigan out. Really.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it's not right what they're doing to dude. Like, you hyped him like he was gonna be the starter all off season.
I know.
Then you say Davis Warren has won the job a week or 2 weeks. Okay, he won the job. Guess what? He hasn't looked good yet. He's had flashes. Guess what? We need more than that, because you flashing and you're only giving me 120 yards against Fresno when we needed more. It wasn't a JJ 120 game.
Right.
JJ was, we didn't need that. No, Fresno, we needed them yards. Texas, we really needed those yards. He had 90 yards going into the fourth. So you trying to act like he's good enough? No, he's not. 100 yards ain't gonna cut it passing, plus turnovers. Why aren't we giving this dude a chance? Maybe we can run the ball 75% of the time and actually get something done. At least let our defense rest, maybe. I don't know. Let's try it and see. This ain't working. So some of this is coaching 101 stuff.
A lot of this is coaching.
Like, that's coaching 101 type stuff.
It's wild, man. Like, I'll be real with you. There's a part of me that feels like Chiron's not ready for this. Like, it just does, like the way he handled the April portal, the way he handled fall camp, what was being fed, and then not only that, they really believed. That's the thing too, though. Like, they talk, like we could talk about what's fed to like sources, like we could talk about what people said to the insiders and everything. We could talk about all that, but what I'm looking at the press conferences and in the coaches' interviews and the confidence that they had, and he really believed that this team was going to be strong. But it's everything but strong.
There's a part of me that thinks there's a lot of that, the coach speak that he's doing right now is to keep team unity and to support his players that a lot of them have been through the wars with him last year and this, that, and the other. But at some point he has to start looking out for his future and make the proper moves. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt like pulling the scab. But some players are going to have to be benched, or allow somebody else to step up. And I thank y'all for y'all time. And
yeah,
if there's one critique that I could have for for us, and I'm 54 years old, and I'm not trying to censor anybody, but you know, my wife and my daughters be around when I'm listening to this show, and we be dropping a lot of F-bombs. So if there's any way we can curb that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, we do get a little loose here.
Yeah. But I love the show, and thank y'all for what y'all do, man. Go Blue.
Yeah, thank you, Troy. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the constructive criticism there. Yeah, go Blue, Troy.
I got a question for you, TJ.
Yeah. Let me know.
Coming out of camp, they said the offense has been beating the defense. What do you think about that? Because there's no way that offense should have been beating that defense any day. What do you think?
Well, so what? All right. So when I did hear that, the things I was thinking was because of familiarity, the players know their tendencies. Alex Orji's gone against this defense for a few years. I thought maybe, the offense just kind of knew. Like sometimes when you go against the same guy, you know how to defend them better or go
practice against them.
Yeah, you know their strengths and their weaknesses. Especially because here's one that blew my mind, Johnny. The Judice Mason going against Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. How did he show out in camp and you got that confidence from him? Because so far he hasn't shown it. And then not only that, what about Evan Link? Evan Link's getting owned, bro.
He's horrible.
How is our defensive line? How did they put up a good fight? Because there was word out of camp that the offensive line was doing pretty good against our defensive line, which is nuts.
They had to be if they were saying they were winning. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't make sense. That offense is horrible. How were they winning against that defense? So that makes
Will John. I know. And then on top of that, dude, listen to this though. What about all the hype about Marlon Klein coming out of camp? What about the hype about Tyler Morris becoming? And then Samaj Morgan has been showing out. I ain't seen none of it, bro. And then Fred Moore, there was even some hype that Fred Moore had the X position. Fred Moore doesn't even play the X position on Saturdays.
I see.
They're talking about Kendrick. Have you heard about what's going on with Kendrick Bell? So he was injured all fall camp. He just got healthy 2 weeks, but a week or two before fall camp. He's already playing over Frederick Moore.
That's wild.
That's wild, bro. And then Frederick Moore's his own quotes were I was surprised I played as much as I did. That's what he said publicly.
How bad are you,
bro? It's wild, man. All right, let's take our next caller. Another fan favorite, and our boy. I'm sure he's got a lot to say. What is up, Nick?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, you tell me, man. What's going on?
Oh, well, not feeling good after listening to all that. I guess first, I don't understand. My last point, I'll make it quick, but I want to kind of address what I said on Davis Warren. I kind of fucked up what I was trying to. Oh shoot!
Hey, watch out, Nick. We're trying to be nice.
I know. I was just telling myself, don't do that. I got to clarify some things on Davis Warren because I thought it through a little bit more. But yeah, the whole situation seems like a disaster. But what's interesting is what's the grounds for the 8-4, 7-5? Because dudes come on here. Nothing against them. I agree with them, but we're making it sound like it's a disaster. And if you look at the schedule, man.
Well, let's look at the schedule. I'll pull it up. We can go over the schedule.
I mean, honestly, I think I'm borderline, depending on what I see against Arkansas State, I'm seriously entertaining them not making a bowl. Because a lot of these games.
Oh, if you're saying you think it's going to be worse than 8-4.
They're all losing,
be way worse than 8-4. I think this could. I think if this thing bottoms out, which I think it's teetering, I think you could lose almost every game left besides Arkansas State.
Maybe Northwestern, but every Big Ten game is losable.
Illinois. What I've seen right now, Illinois. I think that's on the road. That's a loss.
Hold on, let's look, Nick. All right, I got it up right here. Let's go through it one by one. All right, so we got Arkansas State next. That's a dub, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so we got USC. All right, so we got USC.
Loss.
Okay, so we're 2-2. All right, we got Minnesota next at home. I think
I'll say that's a win, but that's borderline for me right now. It could be a loss
to lose to them.
Okay, then we go on the road to Washington, which, by the way, that's a cool stadium.
That was supposed to be a win, but that's probably going to be a loss. Honestly,
they're looking better too.
Jed Fish is going to kick Chiron's ass.
So all right, let's talk about that.
Wink.
Let's talk about that though. How crazy is this? Jed Fish inherits Washington, where they had a mad player exodus and a bunch of players go to the draft, and their head coach, everybody left. They actually are going through a rebuild. How the hell does Jed Fish get Washington to a better position than Michigan than Chiron has gotten Michigan? If that's the case, if Washington beats Michigan, that is your sign that we have a serious issue.
Well, we may have hired the wrong guy, but how he got Washington where they're at, and we'll see how this plays out, right? Like, let's keep in mind, there's a lot of teams that we think are good right now that are probably going to end up being ass or average.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oregon.
No, actually, I think Oregon's going to figure it out. I'm thinking teams. Yeah, there's a few teams riding high. Right now, I can't think of any. It's gonna be wild, I think, this year. But Jed Fish has been a head coach before, and he's turned a program around, so he has that
Arizona.
Experience. Yeah, and I think what could be going on right now is with Chiron. I think it's a few things. I think he's probably had trouble delegating and structuring, just because he's a first-time head coach, delegating duties and all that. And yeah, he might still be involved with the offensive line, but we don't know. You know, he's just not going to be able to give them all of his attention or as much attention as he was before. So I don't know. Grant Newsome could be an issue. It's his first time being an O-line coach, I think. But yeah, man, the thing that surprises me the most is Kurt Campbell. I'm really concerned about what he's been trying to do offensively. But we can get back to the schedule.
Yeah, all right, so we're at 3-3. You think 3-3? I think we can beat Washington, but USC is going to tell me a lot. Okay, then what we got against Illinois?
It's possible.
Illinois?
Let's look at Illinois. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a possible loss.
That's a loss.
What? You guys have us losing Illinois right now, huh?
Well, I don't have guaranteed losses. Except,
but you're feeling a loss right now. I just want what you guys feel.
All of them are possible losses, though.
Right now, I would pick us to lose. That's what I've seen. I'm going off of what I've seen this year. I'm not going off of talent.
No.
No, I know.
Look how many first rounders we have on defense, man. I know, but
let me just qualify though. Guys, we went against possibly the national championship team. I think we need to be mindful of that. Like, I don't know if we're ass right now. You know, we might be good. We might be solid. We might be competitive, but Texas is who we were last year. You know, like Texas is a really good team. Now look, like I said, USC is going to tell me a lot. You know, but so I do think we'll beat Illinois. I'm not sold on Illinois.
My thing for the season is I need to see what if we go into Big Ten schedule with the offense looking the way it is, every game's a possible loss. It's that bad. You saw it against Fresno. So I need to see this offense click against Arkansas State for me to have some hope right now. Even with the defense like it is, that offense is horrible.
So I don't actually look this up or verify it, but I heard Sam Webb, they talked on it on their show this morning. I think it was Seth who said this, but Evan Link's average PPF grade right now through 2 weeks is literally 0.
Good kid.
He's bad, bro. It's a bad issue. And you know what's crazy is he won the battle.
But see, that's what I'm saying is like the reason why I think right now I pick them to lose to Illinois is because I don't think that they would have probably lost to Texas either way, but I don't think the coaches are putting these guys in positions to succeed. So that's going to really cap their influence in your ceiling as a team. I mean, it can just destroy a team. So, yeah, right now, I mean, I don't see them beating Illinois. Would it shock me or surprise me? No, I'm probably like 55-45. That 55 they would lose that game.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say we beat Illinois. All right, let's go to Michigan State though. Let's go to Michigan State. I'm gonna overrule that one, Nick. We're gonna beat Illinois. All right. So let's go to Michigan State. What are you thinking, man? You think we're gonna lose Michigan State?
I would say no on that
Okay.
one. I don't trust Michigan State like at all. So I think Aiden Childs is going to have a really up and down year. And I do think even if this season's a disaster, I do think that they're going to have some things up their sleeve. I think Chiron is well aware that they just cannot lose that game. So.
All right, then Oregon, we're taking another loss.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right, then Indiana, what do you think? We're going to lose Indiana? I don't think so.
I'm in the same boat as Illinois. So you overruled me. If you want to overrule me, go for it. But right now,
you think Indiana's got us, huh? Now, don't be wrong though. Their coach, what's his name? Signetti, I think.
Signetti, yeah.
Bro, he's a fiery son of a bitch, dude. I don't know if anyone's familiar with. So I don't know if people know about Indiana's new head coach, but he don't take no shit, man. Like he's like he knows he's Indiana. He came from James Madison, so he comes from that smaller school, but like. He knows he's Indiana, but he doesn't care. He's one of those, like, he doesn't care how big of a dog you are. He's going to fight. Like, so I think Indiana is the right guy for the job. It's interesting though. Early indicators are Indiana's an improved team already, but I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know, history. I just can't see us lose. Although it is at Indiana, I just don't see us losing it to it though.
I think being on the road at Illinois concerns me more than being on the road at Indiana. But the issue again I have with that is like Kirk Signetti, his teams don't make mistakes.
Yeah, they're well coached. He's a good coach.
They play such clean football, and we are like we're the opposite of that. So like, I'll give it a win, a slight win, but like I'm not confident in that at all.
Okay, so let's go Northwestern.
Win.
Okay, so then Ohio State
loss.
Yeah, so we're looking at 7-5 right now, and I think that's fair. I think 7-5, 8-4 ceiling right now. 7-5 is kind of where I'm at now. Could 6-6 happen if we don't get our shit together? Which then you're right, Nick. We're flirting with losing bowl. A bowl will obviously take us because we're Michigan. We're a brand, but yeah, it's wild. It's a wild situation to be in.
If it's that bad and they do like 6-6, 7-5, they might as well self-impose a bowl.
But see, here's where
self-impose a bowl ban. Is that what you said?
Self-impose.
Jesus, Johnny.
I'm just being real, bro. We still got that stuff hanging back there somewhere.
Yeah, but it ain't, dude. I'll be real with you, bro. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not. I don't think it's gonna be as serious as our rivals want it to be. I really don't. But we'll find out, I guess. And honestly, freaking NCAA might be looking at this and being like, "Oh shit, we don't really need to do anything anyways. They've already crippled themselves." But all right, Nick, give me your last thoughts here because we got a bunch of callers.
Now you ain't right for that.
NCAA's like, they've already punished themselves, man. They hired Chiron.
You ain't right, bro. I said I ain't.
All right, final thoughts, Nick.
My only concern with the schedule is a few of those losses we picked in there. The reason why I say it could get really out of control is if we do end up losing some of those games, it's very plausible to lose even more. So it could get really, really bad. And then lastly, I'll just say I wanted to clarify my Davis Warren take on Saturday. It was a pretty bad take. I hadn't thought it through. All I'm trying to say is I don't think he was the problem. And maybe at one point he could have been developed. But, yeah, he's 22 at this point. I don't think he's going to improve a whole lot. And if you want to I'd like to see Alex Orji for a drive just to see what we have. So that's all I got for you.
Give him a chance.
I agree, and you might see it.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
It's not like they act like Warren is killing it. That's the thing. Like, we can't put Orji in. Warren's giving you like 100 yards, buddy. You're not losing nothing.
The coaching staff is giving every indication they have zero trust in Orji.
Well, we got
Zero
that, that's why I got zero trust in you, because you got Warren out there, he throwing for 100 yards. That's why
you can't play Warren with this offensive line.
And
you can't
exactly.
And let's exactly right. For Warren to succeed, this offensive line has to protect him. I don't disagree. But let's also not forget the coaching staff put us in this position. They didn't go get a quarterback. That's on the coaching staff. They wanted to ride with who we had. The self-confidence, it's just wild to me. But all right, Nick, appreciate you calling in, man. I'm sure I'll hear from you Saturday, good or bad. Like hopefully good.
It almost seems like they don't want Orji to be successful because they chose to go with Warren.
Well, I think they did want Orji to be successful, but they wouldn't. But he didn't take the job. Is what I think they want. I think they were trying to give Orji every opportunity in the world to take it. But dude, a lot more happened in camp than we know, because like some shit's wild. I don't know. I might see if I can try.
Yeah,
practice ain't the game. That's the thing.
I think we might be dealing with some young coaches that have an inflated ego about how they want to do things after coming off the title.
Yeah, they lack self-awareness right now. We got a coaching staff that lacks some real self-awareness. So they thought they were just gonna like transition this shit.
I've seen better play. I saw better play designs for Orji last year when he came in for the few plays.
Yeah, just running it up the fucking A gap ain't gonna do it. But anyways, all right, and I just swore again. My bad, Troy. All right, Nick, I'm gonna let you go, man. Go blue. I can't help it, man. It's in my nature. All right, let's give a shout out here to Antoine King, $1.99. Any word on Babala, go blue. All right, I've hit on this like recent weeks, and the message really isn't any different. But like as you guys know, the longer this goes on, the more it's about NIL. This is no longer an academic recruitment. As much as this was an academic recruitment all the way up until August, with Auburn entering the battle, it's no longer an academic recruitment. Stanford's no longer second place either. It's between Michigan and Auburn's not playing around. So I think the longer this goes, the more they're in negotiations right now too. Don't like the reason why this keeps getting prolonged. Listen, he was good. Michigan was trying to get him to commit at the end of July. It didn't happen. Michigan tried to get him to commit early August, like August 12th. No, he didn't do that. He was going to commit a couple weeks, like a week into his season. Didn't do that. He was going to commit a week ago. Didn't do that. He keeps prolonging it. The reason why he keeps prolonging it is because one, Auburn's becoming an issue. You know, they're becoming a real threat. I mean, they are a real threat, but Auburn's making moves, man. Like the longer this goes on, the less optimistic I am for Michigan. So we're just gonna have to see how that goes. But can Michigan still win it? Yeah, because here's another thing too. So it's not all doom and gloom. Like it's not all bad. Here's some reality. You guys ever wonder why some of these schools weren't that good, get these top players? Because they can promise them playing time. So if you are willing to play ball financially and you say, you know what, we need dogs. We need dudes who are going to change this. We need dudes who are going to turn this culture around. You can get elite players doing that. So just because this is going on and Michigan's not doing the greatest right now on the field, and it's still early in the year, we'll see if they can turn it around. But even so, the reality is even you can still pull elite talent. Ask Missouri. You know, like you just got to be able to play ball financially. So thank you, Antoine. We appreciate that. Another one is Blue Wolverines. Smack a like on this bish. We appreciate that. Everyone watching, please like the video, share the video if you can, but definitely subscribe if you are not subscribed. We greatly appreciate it. And we are 5 minutes away from our hour. I'm going to take 2 more phone calls. So we'll see how it goes. All right. We'll do 2 more phone calls for sure.
Greg Guest comment up there for me real quick.
Hold on. Which one? This one?
Texas came out and covered 2. Ain't no garbage time stats, rookie. Matter of fact, his best throws with the blitzer hitting him. Come on, bro. I need some of you Davis Warren fans to be realistic about what we saw and what we've seen out of him this year. I'm getting tired of it, bro. The man ain't playing good. Everybody's got their favorite quarterback. You know who mine is? The one who actually looks good and helps us win. Right. I don't care if it's Denegal. I don't care if it's Orji. I don't care if it's Warren. I don't care if it's Tuttle.
Right.
But Davis Warren's best throws Saturday were a flea flicker for like 20 yards and then a Madden play where you get scared in the pocket and you run towards the sideline, stop, and try to make something happen. That's how little kids play Madden. That's not something that you can build around. Like, come on, bro. Like, I get that you probably like him, but he's not good. I'm sorry. Like, come on.
Work in progress. We'll see if he can improve against Arkansas State. You know, obviously more time on task, the better. But all right, we'll take another call here. We do have a bunch of guys calling in, so I apologize. We are. I think we are 83 away from a second hour, guys. We unfortunately did not reach our goal. But here, let's take another call right now, and we'll see where it goes. What is up, Ball Talk Michigan? What's up, my man?
Hey, what's up, man? I got to correct you on saying that Texas is like last year's Michigan. We had the purest, most impressive championship of all time, okay? Let's not do that. Our defense was all-time great. I don't know if Texas got all-time great defense. They might have an all-time great offense, but can't do that to my 2023 Michigan team, man, okay? Let's start with that.
Hold up. Let me respond to that. We'll get to all your points. So the reason why I say that is because they're a veteran team who's come back. They're on a mission, right? They lost in the playoff, just like we did against TCU, against Georgia. They lost against Washington. So now they came back. They're on a mission to come and get a national championship. That's what I mean by that. It's a similar story. I'm not necessarily saying they're got a championship defense. I will say this, though. Offensively, their offensive line is probably winning the Joe Moore Award. They got probably the best offensive line in college football. And their left tackle is probably going to go top 5 in the NFL draft. So, like, they're a very good team. In my opinion, they have a similar storyline to Michigan. I'm not saying that they're. I think last year's Michigan team beats this Texas team now.
Yeah, do me a favor, man. Yeah. Put up a lightning rod because you better get struck by lightning. Keep talking like that. So, anyways, yeah. So, anyway, let's talk about the offense, man. Let me tell you something, man. I get argument with Michigan fans all the time because they still think that Donovan Edwards is this every down bag, man. If they don't bench this dude and he keeps performing like this, I'm gonna have to ride, man. I'm gonna have to ride because I think Campbell on his the radio show they do at night said he's gonna continue to get first carries. What has he shown you to earn that? Besides the fact he's got a history of breaking off big runs when the hole's so big a Mack truck can run through it. Like that's one of the most frustrating things too, man. Give these other guys a shot if you really believe in me, whatever that word is. If you really believe in that, give these other guys a shot. And then also, the other thing is, Sharon Moore thinks he's Jim Harbaugh, man. He thinks he's Jim Harbaugh. He thinks that, I'm gonna just ride with this guy. I'm gonna just keep riding with him, even though he's not performing well. He's inheriting all the bad traits, and he's showing none of the good traits of Jim Harbaugh right now.
I'm noticing the same thing. They think they're just going to transition and ride it out. And it's like, dude, like the comments he made about the Texas game, we were just a few plays away. That's some Ryan Day shit. Like, don't do that. Like you need some accountability, some self-reflection. We got owned. Nothing looked good.
They could have scored 50. Texas. That score could have been 50 to 6.
Texas took their foot off the gas, bro. And they took their starters out.
And defense.
Oh, yeah. And look, man. The offense, as bad as the defense played, the offense just puts them in such a bad predicament. It was 14-3, and then they turned the ball over twice, and before you know it, it's 24-3 at half. As bad as the defense is playing, the offense is the one putting them back on the field, putting the offense in great field position. And by the end of the half, I think Texas had 40-plus plays. I don't care what defense you got, especially with the depth we got, they ain't going to be able to hold up.
Yeah, and it's bad play calling, bad clock management. It's a lot of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because when they were up, going into half 17-3, when it was 17-3, they should have been trying to get into halftime. That should have been the most important thing. Let's just get to halftime to lick our wounds. We're only down 14, but they tried to, score, didn't milk the clock, and Loveland fought.
Oh yeah. Have you rewatched that Orji play when it was 3rd and 3? Have you rewatched that by chance?
In the second quarter?
Yeah. Did you watch El Hadi on that play, man? Watch El Hadi on that play. He's supposed to pull around and seal the block. The dude runs into the center. Where are you going? You're not. Did they tell you, hey, block our own player? That's what you're supposed to do? Was that the coaching? Was that how they coached it? I want you to pull around and just run into your own center and block him and ignore the linebacker. I forget if it was a linebacker or lineman that's streaming through the gap that you're supposed to block. What kind of coaching is that?
Yeah, no, dude, it's a shit show right now. Like it's honestly not.
I mean, he pulled a Donovan Edwards in the championship game where he ran into his center's butt. But the difference is at least Donovan Edwards can break it back outside. El Hadi, he hits him and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and people blame that play on Orji, like he blocks for himself.
Yeah, but I'll end on this, man. Give Orji a drive, cut out these one-play things, put Mullins in to start the game. That was probably the biggest travesty of that game. How many carries did Mullins get in that first half? 2? 1?
Not a lot.
He didn't have
I agree with you. Mullins need to be RB1. This is what I mean. They're not putting the players in a position to succeed. It's like it's nuts, man. Like Mullins should be RB1. We all know this. Donovan Edwards should be split out wide. Why is Colson Loveland not being put out? Instead, they're using Colson Loveland as a 6th lineman. They're using the chip block. Like, why is he not being stretched outside to make the offense more versatile? We need a big body. Why not put Mullins?
Edwards is a drive killer, man. That's what I consider him, a drive killer. Yeah, he's like hitting the lottery. That's what he is. Like you might hit it. You might hit the lottery, but guess what? Those other 100 times that you try to hit the lottery, you ain't hitting it. And that's what he is.
He missed a monster hole on like the 2nd or 3rd play of the game or something. He might have took it to the house.
Oh yeah, that cutback. Yeah, the cutback where there's a huge hole to his left, and if he just looks, he hits it. But this is what he always does. His vision is poor, and like I said, he's like a person that's addicted to the lottery. You might hit it, but the other 100 times you buying those lotto tickets, you ain't hitting nothing, and you're stalling drives.
No.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Baltimore, Michigan.
Peace out.
Give me your. We know what's gonna happen with Arkansas State. Before you get out of here.
Give you that. I got you.
What up?
Look, man. Here's what I'll say, man. If I don't see a change in philosophy, this is what I need to see in this next game. And they talked about it. I need them to go back to running the ball more heavier sets, give the ball to Mullins more, and a lot more play action to help out your quarterback. A lot more play action. That's what I need to see. Stop doing these 5-out wides. Go to your strengths. You're not that team. You don't got the personnel. Just hammer home what you can be good at, which is running the ball and play action. Because everything else you ain't good at. So just do that. Work on that. And if that's good, this is what I need to see. I need to see a blowout where Orji could come in and do a drive. That's what I need to see. And then if he look good. If he look good coming in, man, and we lose to USC with Davis Warren, they got to make the switch, man. Because right now, I don't know. It's up in there. I don't know how the season is going to go. We play national championship contender. I got no idea how this is going to go if we don't change what we're doing.
I agree, man. We're definitely not Michigan football. Thanks for the call, man. Don't be a stranger. Go blue.
The big question is last year they didn't run that much play action for whatever reason. I used to talk about it. Joel Klatt used to talk about it. And last year you had good enough players to get away with it. You had enough. This year you need play action. You have to run play action with this team. Like it's inexcusable to not. When people know you want to run the ball like this, you have to use play action more. Like a lot of this stuff, bro, is coaching 101. This is coaching for dummies. I'm sorry. A lot of this stuff, right? Am I lying?
No, dude. It's a shit, dude. It's bro, it's frustrating because we all know it. I don't know what they're doing, bro. They're doing some basic stuff, like simple ass play calling. They're not putting players in the best position to succeed. They're not utilizing talents. But here, JR Rankings, a contributor to the Voice of College Football on the Ohio State channel and friend of the program. He goes, do you all attribute the poor running back play this year to Alford being the coach now? I always thought Mike Hart was better. Look, to this comment, Mike Hart is probably a better fundamental coach, but JR, and I know you guys have your takes on Alford in terms of his recruiting. Mike Hart was a lazy ass recruiter, bro. He was the type of recruiter who didn't want to pick up the phone, bro. Didn't want to go visit a kid. Didn't want to go do nothing. Jim Harbaugh behind the scenes had to get in Mike Hart's ass a few times about recruiting more and being more aggressive. Mike Hart didn't want to put any effort into recruiting. That was a major problem. Not only that, he had a bit of an attitude issue. He wasn't happy about Chiron Moore getting the head coaching position either. So that's the reality of that. I mean, there's more too. There's even some other stuff I don't even know about either. I know he went through some stuff this offseason. I don't know the whole details on that. But In terms of running back play, I think the biggest issue, JR, is our offensive line right now. It's not doing its job. And you're not going to have a good running game without a solid offensive line. Our offensive line isn't doing a damn thing. All right, guys, so here's the deal. We're an hour and 6 minutes into this. We are $83 away from our second hour. I'm going to take one more phone call. So I apologize to Keegan, Marcus, and Al on the line. We didn't reach our second hour, so I apologize for that, guys. So we're going to take one more phone call, and then we're going to get out of here. But appreciate everybody watching, everybody calling in, everyone contributing. And I apologize to those not on the line. Saturday, we're doing a post game. Call early. We'll get to you guys. What is up, Sean?
Hey, guys. I've been staying away from the Michigan channels, at least participating in them, since allow you guys your little space to grieve. Didn't want to intrude on that. But I have got to say, I don't know if I've ever seen a fan base's tone and excitement, opinions of their team change as drastically as yours fan bases did over this game. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean,
I don't know if I've ever seen it either.
You guys were literally thinking about national championships like a week ago. I mean, some of you were a little off on that, but this was.
I don't know about national championships.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Playoff contention, yes.
Yeah.
Big Ten contention, yes.
Playoff.
Yeah, we weren't. I don't know if we thought we'd repeat, but we definitely thought we'd be a playoff team, bro. Like, we're not even looking like a damn playoff team. That's the issue. Like,
but a lot of you guys most of you really thought like this was going to be a competitive game this weekend, right? Like, you guys were going to play a top 3 team, and I think at least half your fans expected you to win.
I would say prior to week 1, yes. But after we saw Arkansas State, and listen, I don't know if you know this, Sean. If you saw my prediction, I predicted us to lose 31-17. So, like, after week 1, bro, I was like, oh, no. We're in trouble. This is not right. Something's like, this is off. You can tell it's off. It doesn't feel right. There's a lot of issues here. So I predicted us to lose after week 1. Here's the reason why I think the fan base has flipped so quick. Because when Chiron was hired, this was supposed to be a transition to keep everything, to keep continuity, to keep culture, to keep the level of play at a high level. Listen, Sean, we're looking like a team that has a brand new coach and everybody exited the damn portal right now. We don't look like a team with 3 first-round picks on defense. We don't look like a team with a first-round tight end. We don't look like a team that has a bunch of dudes who were a part of a national championship. Yeah, we did lose a lot, but there's a lot of guys who played a lot. Like, our entire front 4 is back from last year. So what? We lost Brandon McGregor. Like, Brandon McGregor was a solid player, but he wasn't an impact player. He was just solid. Yeah. Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore were better. Chris Jenkins we lost, but I mean, like, etc. Like, and then not only that, the hype. Not only that, here's you know what? Actually, no. Here's why we flipped quick, because I think the fan base lost their trust in this coaching staff because everything they fed us in the offseason, we don't see none of it. Where's Jay Sean Barham? Where's Ernest Hausman? Where's this offensive line elite play? You talk about this quarterback play. We were hearing about how Alex Orji's improved as a passer, and he's going through his progressions. And then the week before camp, he loses it because Davis Warren's throwing 80% completion percentage. Where the hell is that at? That's why we don't trust the coaching staff, bro.
Must have been running a lot of screens in those areas. I mean, yeah. So I do want to, like, if I can put some water on your. On this inferno of rage coming from the fan base. I do think this defense, in about 3/4 of the games you play, will look national championship because this front will be that dominant. I do believe that. You know, you've got a good rotation of guys, and you guys are really, really elite players up there. The problem is, once we saw in this Texas game, when you face a team that you can't just physically manhandle at the line of scrimmage, this is a lot like, I mean, Wink Martindale getting these Don Brown comparisons. This felt like a Don Brown team. Every time you go up against an offense that can perform sort of the elementary functions of offensive football, and they're not just playing from their back. The flaws in this defense get exposed. The secondary, I know they're replacing a lot of guys back there, a lot of new players, but man, Jair Hill got absolutely destroyed in this game. The safeties weren't making any plays. The middle of the field. I mean, when was the last time you saw the middle team work the middle of the field against Michigan that effectively? I mean, that's been a long
2020.
Yeah.
So Sean, you're saying like, oh, you'll see this defense play at an elite level. Yeah, you will. Yeah. But here's the problem: is the coaching staff going to put the defense to succeed at an elite level? Like, Johnny, what do you think? Do you like?
I gotta see it.
Would you agree?
The coaches, what the mistake? Ernest Hausman and Barham. I saw Barham play better at Maryland last year. I saw Hausman last year play very well for us.
I know.
This dude looked like he's a freshman now. He's a junior. Like these dudes look like they're getting poorly coached.
Right.
So that's the big thing why we're all, off-season hype and then actually watching the games. So once you play the games and you actually see what you are, okay, the hype is over. Now this don't look right. So
yeah, don't look right. It don't feel right, man. That's why the fan base has turned. We know something. We know it's not right.
I'll say this certainly I can say this about Hausman and Barham and probably about some of the secondary is clearly physically they've got what it takes to play football at a really high level. I mean, they're very talented. They're probably more physically talented than the duo you had last year than Junior Colson and Michael Barrett.
They're more athletically talented.
They're just not as good football players right now as those guys were. The problem on the offense, almost all around, you guys they just don't have a lot of talent almost anywhere. Other than Loveland, there's not a single player that scares an offense. This group of receivers they have, I'm telling you, it's the worst I've ever seen at Michigan. I think it's the worst ever. Their production through 2 weeks. Well, what does the leading receiver on this team have? Like 25 yards or something like that?
Maybe 50. I don't know. I'd have to look. I mean, but here's the deal. That's again on the coaching staff. Why didn't you go in the portal and make a move?
Yeah.
This is we cannot trust these dudes. They are not running a program. They literally took this team and thought they were just going to walk into success instead of actually building a freaking program. And it's a problem, bro. They do not have a grasp of the program. They do not have a feel for it. They do not know the pulse of it right now. We are looking at what an inexperienced CEO looks like right now. He doesn't Chiron Moore. He did do some good things. He did do some positives, expanding the recruiting department, doing a lot with all of that, getting the NIL in order. We're now at a top 15 level in terms of budget. Okay, which is it's still not good enough. Don't get me wrong. We got work to do there, but so there are things he's done, but there's a lot of it's almost like he just false confidence, man. He really, I don't know, man. They just lack reality right now.
So what do you think it is? Do you think they actually looked at some of these guys through off-season train in spring and said, you know what, Tyler Morris, Samaj Morgan, Frederick Moore, these are the guys. These are our guys. They're real. They're legit players. They're legit playmakers. Or because if they made that kind of misevaluation that's a problem too.
I know, and I think they did.
Or did they maybe try and fail? I don't know.
Well, I think it's two things. And Johnny, if you got to go ahead, Johnny, you talk. You hit it.
The big thing about evaluating any team is, okay, once your portal is over and this is the team, you have to evaluate, okay, what do I have here? What do I have? Who can make plays for this team? Who's got speed? Who's got versatility? What do I have here? I got Donovan Edwards. I can use him in the backfield. I can put him in the slot. Who else? Who can? Oh, I got Samaj. Maybe I can reverse him, jet sweep him, do trickeration to help these guys, scheme these guys open. Fred Moore is fast. How am I going to utilize his speed? Omarion Walker is a speedster in 6'3", 6'4". He's on the bench. You have to find what you have and utilize the players that you have the best way you can. Scheme. If you don't,
do you know
right now we look lost. That's why they don't know how to utilize the guys they have.
Yeah.
You want to know the issue with Marion Walker? He can't catch. He can't catch a freaking ball, bro. His hands are not good. That is why you're not seeing a Marion Walker on the field. He cannot catch.
He can't catch. This is
Can't
wild.
catch.
So that's why he was switched to DB before.
That's 100% why he was originally switched to DB, because he wasn't a good receiver. He's just an athletically gifted player. So they moved him to DB, hoping he would transition, right? And then
he
goes to Ole Miss, and then he comes back because Michigan said, "Hey, we need a wide receiver," and then he comes to camp and he can't. CJ Charleston's playing above him, bro.
I seen that, but my thing is, you have to this offense. What it is, you got to use a lot of trickeration and eye candy for this offense to be successful. If Chiron don't know that, he shouldn't be coaching. If Kirk Campbell don't know that, they shouldn't be coaching. You need a lot of eye candy and trickeration because your offensive line is garbage. So you have to manufacture some yards somehow. So I don't want to. Omarion Walker, if he's fast and he's elusive, why is he on the bench?
Right.
I need to see a reverse. I need to see something.
Right. Use them as like a distraction, or like, to at least open the field up like the Lions used to do with JMO. I don't disagree with that, but
you have to do it with this offense, bro. Like, that's just the reality. Like, you have to, eye candy and trickeration has to be the staple of this.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they're having as many fundamental issues with the base offense, I mean, like, introducing a whole different array of gadgets and stuff, I don't know how is that going to work. I mean, I personally think the reason why the offense has been a bit plain the last couple of weeks is, one, you've got 10 new starters on offense, correct? You had a quarterback battle deep into camp. I don't know how much time they've actually had to rep a lot of the stuff offensively. I don't know. I think it's been basic by necessity.
Well, I agree. The team lacks cohesion, continuity, and chemistry. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. But again, why didn't you go into the portal and fill these needs? Now, there's one thing I think is, I don't think our NIL was in a position where they could go. Unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm just gonna keep it real. And Johnny, you may agree with me. I don't know. I'd like to get your opinion on this. There is a Michigan arrogance at the upper levels of Michigan where they think they don't need to do things other programs do because they think they're just the best. And I don't think I think they took Jim Harbaugh for granted. I think they took what he built in Michigan for granted. And I don't think they realize for them to be competitive, they got to play ball. And what I mean by that is, actually doing NIL, not waiting 2 years after NIL was a thing, and then now getting your shit together. And even though it's together now, we're not even at a top 10 level. Right. And then not only that, it just got good. It just got good. Thank you, Dusty May. And thank you teams trying to poach our players in January and February, lighting a fire under Ward Manuel's ass, because he didn't have a fire under his ass. Ward Manuel was very lackadaisical and reactive, right? And he takes his orders from the regents. He doesn't listen to what the coaches. Juwan Howard got into fights with Ward Manuel over NIL and how there's a lack of NIL. They can't be competitive. That happened last summer. And then when Juwan Howard got fired, he told Ward Manuel the reason why they're not competitive is because NIL is not good enough. Now, Ward Manuel was like, well, that's not a good enough answer. And we agree. There was a big issue with Juwan Howard as well. But he's not wrong. Jim Harbaugh, he was trying to get NIL going, but in the first 2 years, the Ward Manuel wanted nothing to do with it. So what I think happened in the April portal season is, I don't think Michigan was in the position to be aggressive going after a true quarterback, going after a star wide receiver or a right tackle. And now we are in this position, and they better wake up, man, because we could be in for a really interesting time here if they don't get it together. What do you think, Johnny? What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think you're right, because they've been like this since I can remember, honestly. I remember when Jim got hired and he was trying to change things and, get certain things done. Oh, they didn't want him on the sideline getting mad, and he was too animated. And Michigan is in like 1960, or 50 or 40, 1920, honestly. They're stuck in that permanently, and they're so slow to change.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? Notre Dame has that same that same like mentality, they have an aggressive NIL program. They give their players a team-based salary. They've been doing far more than Michigan has in the NIL space.
They got that NBC money.
Well, what's Michigan's excuse now? We got a bigger contract than they do. I hear you though. I know what you're saying.
Got me there. You got me.
It's wild, man.
Yeah, what are
and then the rumors? I'm sorry, Sean. Like you just got me on one right now. And then the rumors about how they're going to do this revenue sharing, only giving the football team $7 million.
Oh, they wild for that.
So they got a 23.5. They're going to do a $23.5 million revenue, and they're going to split it 50. Well, all right. So nothing's official. Like it's not official, but this is just the word right now. They're going to split it 50-50 amongst men and women, and then out of the 11, 7-5 or whatever that's going to go. They're going to give 7 of that to the football team. That's it. And what do you think SEC schools are going to do? What do you think OSU is going to do? Because every school can distribute the money differently. And guess what happens when every single school gets $10 million extra in revenue? That means the price of players goes up. It doesn't make you more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, more money into the system.
Yeah, the market's going to get flush with cash.
Yeah, so just wanted to share one observation followed by a question before I get out of here.
Good, Sean. We appreciate you, man.
This is my belief and the belief of a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of Buckeyes I talk to. It looks to me like Jim Harbaugh knew in 2023, knew well before the season even started, that was going to be his last year come hell or high water. He was bouncing. He was out. I think that was part of his game plan. I think.
When do you think he realized that? When?
I'm sorry. What?
When do you think he realized he was bouncing?
Probably sometime before around the 22 season. That he was around the 21-22 season. He was going to eventually get into the NFL in the next couple of years. I don't think he planned for the last couple of years on being at Michigan this year. And I don't think he necessarily prepared for this program to come back from last season's exodus as if he would have.
You think he went all in, win at all costs to get out?
Yeah. Well, I'm not making any references about this down.
I know what you're implying, bro. No, it's all good, Sean. Listen,
but I don't think he invested the time and the energy into the program the last couple seasons. He was very focused on the group of guys he had and winning with those guys. There was not much. I don't think there was a whole lot of focus on the future.
It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that because he left and he took most of the staff with him. So it's hard to say for the future because once a coach leaves, you're gonna have guys leaving, coming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I also think you lack players too. That's the crux of this. You have a few great ones, and the rest of the team is what right now? I mean, like the recruiting's been mediocre. Was mediocre. Certainly below standard for a program of Michigan's caliber.
Yeah, we should be recruiting at a top 10 level. But all right, so to your point, Sean,
the NIL was not developed really well under him. You can blame whoever you want for that, but
that's more above Harbaugh than Harbaugh.
You guys know the program better than I do, better than anyone else I talk to.
So, all right.
Is there any validity to that sentiment that Harbaugh kind of left them in a bad shape?
Yeah, right, I'll take it first. I'll let Johnny hit it. Okay, so first of all, Jim Harbaugh was gone with Minnesota. He told everybody he was out, and then Minnesota said no, thank you. When he went to Minnesota, and he called Ward Manuel, said, "Hey, I'll never do this again." That's a lie. He did it again. He did it, and then the next year, Denver Broncos wanted to hire him. So this was 2023. Denver Broncos wanted to hire him.
It was 23 January. Yeah.
He turned Denver Broncos down, by the way. So he said no, thank you. He didn't want the setup. He didn't want the situation. Because Jim Harbaugh wants control, and we saw what he got with the Chargers. He wants control. Because he ran into this with the 49ers, so it wasn't the right situation. So he turned the Broncos down. He then came back to Michigan. He did it. He did it again. even though he said he wouldn't. Jim Harbaugh was all in. Okay, like he's always all in. If anyone knows anything about Jim Harbaugh, even if he's going to be gone next week, then the 7 days before he leaves, he's going to give it 110%. That's Jim Harbaugh. He really will. He's just wired that way. So he did give it everything he had at the program. Now, this time around, where the Chargers grab him, listen, if you really care about the program and the longevity of you don't do this stuff every offseason. He was. So Jim Harbaugh does think about Jim Harbaugh. Let's not forget about that. Like, I do love Jim Harbaugh. I appreciate Jim Harbaugh. He got us a national championship. He got our program from the dark days. We had the worst span in Michigan history before Jim Harbaugh. So I appreciate that. But let's be real too. Jim Harbaugh is about some Jim Harbaugh. And when he left, he rated the program.
Yeah.
He rated the program from taking coaches and a bunch of stuff. And then in terms of NIL and setting everything up that way, Sean, the Michigan Regents and then the athletic director, and this came out, so we all know this is public, even though there's people who want to argue it. Oh, prove it, especially on some of the message boards. But anyways, it's pretty proven now that the book has come out and there's a bunch of other things coming out. But Jim Harbaugh and Ward didn't get along, especially after Ward cut his pay in 2020, after 2020 season. So Jim Harbaugh has always had a bit of a grudge because of that. And because they didn't get along, Ward never had Jim's back, and he never fought for anything. And Jim wanted there to be NIL, and there was no NIL because the regions didn't want it. Now, not every region didn't want it. Most of them didn't want it. They were split on it, and nobody was pushing to get NIL. And the belief, listen to this, Sean, and I've said this before.
Mhm.
The belief at Michigan was paying players is immoral. That's the freaking belief at Michigan. Although we would argue here, not paying players what they deserve and are earned is immoral. Okay, that's correct. So, yeah, there's just a philosophical issue at Michigan. They're not with the times. So because of that, that's why the NIL is where it is. And we don't have our pipelines built. We don't have these long-term relationships. It's not like it is in the SEC where they've been doing this for 30, 40 years, or even at Ohio State. And this is not a shot at Ohio State. Listen, I will salute Ohio State for this. I respect Ohio State for this. You guys have your shit together when it comes to NIL. That's respect. It is what it is. You guys are a bunch of dirtbags. We think you're grimy, but at the end of the day, you guys play to win. I'm not mad at that. We got to do better. Okay, so we got to figure our stuff out. But at the end of the day, at least Ohio State is aggressive. You guys play the game. You guys are modern. You just hired the Texas A&M athletic director because he's all about being proactive and evolving in today's college football climate. Michigan, unfortunately, is late to evolve because Michigan is Michigan. Yep. We are Michigan. Like, you should bow to us at all times. You know what I'm saying? And listen, there is truth. We do have the best symbol. We do have the best colors. We do have the best helmets. Like, we have the best stadium. We have the best public school. Like, we are the best at many things. But at the end of the day, you got to evolve with the times. Johnny, what do you think about that?
I think you hit it on the head with all of that, you know. But with Harbaugh, with what he was saying with Harbaugh, I guess you could say he was all in, but everybody knew that 2023 was an all in. Everybody knew. We all knew it. It was natty or bust. We all knew. You know, we didn't know he was going to leave, but we knew it would probably be a possibility because he was dealing with the NCAA. Who wants to deal with them if you don't have to and you can be in the NFL and don't have to recruit? Like, who wants to deal with them? So,
I'll say this. This Ohio State's in a similar situation with Michigan last year. This is an all-in year for us. We're losing a lot after this next year. But if they take a step back next year, I think you'll probably agree. It won't be a horrible step back. We won't be talking about going 8-4, 7-5 next year.
Ohio State's been dominant for the last 20 years. Like, so you're not just going to fall off. Michigan just got back going.
I think since the 60s, no program has been more consistent than Ohio State. I'm pretty sure that's the stat. No program in college football has been more consistent than Ohio State. You guys have never been down.
I was going to say, like, if you go back to 2005, do you know how many times Ohio State would have missed the playoffs under the current format?
No, I don't know.
Would it be one time? Once. or I mean, maybe the 12-year because we were banned, but yeah, that the Luke Fickell year, that 6 and 7 year in 2011 is the only time since 2005 that we would have actually missed a 12-team playoff. So yeah. All right, guys. I will. I'll catch you guys around soon.
All right, man. Yeah, all right. We'll talk, Sean. All right, Johnny. Let's get to our boy Benny Boy. It's not Alfred Edwards was the guy this year. I mean, I think there's truth to that. Benny, thank you for $2 super chat. We appreciate that.
Hey, you can't blame Alfred when Donovan just doesn't see a monster hole.
I mean, I think the problem is right now there's just a bunch of issues. How is the running game supposed to be good without an offensive line?
Facts. Now his rotation.
How? Yeah. Well, I was gonna say how. You're right. But is that Sharon Moore's call or is that fully Tony's? I don't know yet. We don't really know. And like here's the other thing too. How you supposed to run on a defense that doesn't respect the pass?
And what's sad, Texas didn't even have 8 in the box all game. They were running too high. We don't need 8 in the box for these dudes.
But whenever Alex Orji comes out there, they start loading and crowding the line of scrimmage, and we still.
Oh yeah, he hurried up and called timeout. That's another problem I have is when Orji comes in the game, it doesn't look. They look confused a little bit, like the play doesn't get in fast. Guys are coming in. Okay, come back. No, get off. Like, bro, come on. Just call. We need to call timeout if we can't get the play in and get lined up fast. Like, what is going on? Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, we completely killed momentum on the drive. We settled for a field goal. We should have a touchdown. That should have been a far more closer game. If Michigan shuts Texas down on those third down conversions that we couldn't shut them down on, right? Defensively, if we shut them down on those third down plays, and if Michigan scores on that drive, that game's still a game. But the problem is because we're settling for field goals, because our defense is out there for an extended amount of time, our offense isn't sustaining drives, the defense gets gassed. Our defense, Johnny, and this is the last thing we'll hit on before we get out of here. And I apologize to the callers on the line. We got 3 more callers on the line. I apologize, you guys. We didn't get our extra hour, but I did go extra half hour because I appreciate you guys calling in and all that. But Johnny, when was the last time you saw our defense tired in the second quarter?
Never. I haven't seen that in a long time.
2020, maybe 2020. I know. Yeah,
because even when we all knew that it was possible that they could possibly get tired. Like, okay, if the offense isn't moving, they're going to get gassed. But Kenneth Grant was dead. He was dead in the first quarter. Mid-first quarter, he was tired.
I know. And then when they put the backups in, they were getting pushed off the ball.
Yeah, them dudes should have got some defensive tackles.
Hey man, it's on Michigan, bro. At the end of the day, it's like, listen, we all as fans want Michigan to succeed. We want them to play at an elite level. We want them to continue their dominance in the Big Ten. Listen, we know winning the Big Ten every year is not realistic. We know winning a national title every year is not realistic. But what is realistic and what should be a standard is competing for a Big Ten title every year, competing for a national championship every year, making a 12-team playoff every single year. We are Michigan. This is a blue blood. There's no excuses. We have a program with the biggest alumni network in the entire world. Okay. There's no reason Michigan should not be better. Leaders and best, be leaders and be the best. That is it. We will call it there, Johnny. Again, appreciate everybody calling in, watching the show, subscribing, liking. And look, and anybody who's new to the channel, this is what we do. We keep it honest. We keep it real. We're going to talk about it. Listen, if Michigan shows out against Arkansas State, we're going to talk about that. Michigan shows out against USC. We're going to be there, bro. Listen, we just want the program to succeed. But listen, if things don't look right, things don't feel right, we're going to talk about it. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. We are always Michigan fans. We love the program. We're hoping for the best. But all right, as you guys know, Johnny, before we get out of here, let them know where they can find you and any last words before we get out of here.
You can find me on YouTube, Johnny Olden Jr. I do post-game, pre-game analysis, post-game analysis. I do lives. I usually do call-in lives either Saturday or Sunday, where you can call in, give your opinion. I'll shut up and let you talk. And then I also do car lives where I just kind of say what's on my mind. People seem to really enjoy those ones too. So check me out.
All right, for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. I'm TJ Ronin. You can find me at TJ_Ronin on Twitter if you want to get at me. Until next time, our next show will be post game, Arkansas State, me and John D'Adamo. You can catch us there. Looking forward to hearing from everybody, and let's hope for a damn good game and a blowout for Michigan. So as you guys know, it is always go blue.
Go blue.